So yeah, it's obviously naive of me to assume that all of the intersectional social issues are all settled. You know, most of them used to be united, like not Black Lives Matter, but black rights, gender rights, women's rights. All of this used to be relatively connected. And people would just say it was like a communist or Marxist thing, but no, it's not. Um, Back in my day, with the whole social justice warrior thing, I used to say stuff like, I hate interest groups. I hate feminism. I hate people that are just like pro one thing at a time. You know, I still don't really like the one thing at a time, but people are passionate about specific things and I can't judge them for it. People have, paths that they take, okay? Like, I can't judge it. And it was very naive of me to be like, I hate interest groups. It's just kind of selfish or whatever. I don't know what I was honestly thinking. You know, because Roe versus Wade is about to be overturned. Um, that George Floyd thing was weird because it sparked like so much shit. Like I think people in Japan were even at uh um were up in arms over it, which is amazing. Like I hope that wasn't just like the media lying, because that would just be so amazing if like that really got the world's super attention. You know, and we got like the trans issue that people like to use as a scapegoat to blame for like women's issues. It is complicated because there's either a disadvantage or an advantage. And personally, I feel like men and women should compete, but like with different thresholds, and it probably shouldn't necessarily be equal because we know men are stronger on average. But I think the willpower for a female to come on top over a um, a reasonably matched up male with female, I feel like that would be good to see. To see a female willpower, not saying that there's inherent female willpower, but just the idea that she knows that everybody expects her to lose to male, getting the upper hand over him. Like, that would be amazing, you know? Um, and like, I can't really consider the Lia Thompson thing cheating completely. Like, I understand that if we're gonna call it cheating, it is because it's a trans thing. But athletes are insane people, okay? You couldn't take an average trans person who can swim good and have them do the same thing, you know? They're just, athletes are just freaks. And if we're gonna consider Leah Thompson cheating via hormones, like, I feel like we all have to admit that sports is like full of doping and like advantages over another. Like, so honestly, that seems less wholesome than someone transitioning via identity, not doping with drugs to literally cheat. That's so dumb. And maybe it comes off as cheating when like a dude who's lower comes off higher when he's a social female. Um, hmm. I had other points here, but yeah, most of my argument would be like different like thresholds of abilities fighting each other if it's mixed gender shit, like a female versus a male. Like maybe uh, arm length is longer for her. Maybe she's slightly heavier than him. Like, I wouldn't put like a heavyweight dude with a heavyweight female. Like, I would adjust it so that he has to like work for it a little harder. Because again, we all know that men have an advantage, but it's, it's not that much of an advantage. I've heard people compare like competing, like women competing with men, like comparing women to like cripples, like crippled people competing. Like, I think that's what I've heard recently from this male dating dude with a podcast, on the Vosh podcast lately. I really do think he was a good guy and he was nice. He seemed reasonable aside from me overanalyzing that, I guess. Um, Man, I'm a bit off topic. Um, yeah, I do find it an issue that people get sex and gender mixed up, because pretty sure there could just be multiple genders but we don't really consider a thing, gender or not or whatever, until there's like a lot of people doing it, right? Like, like I imagine there is cultural third gender, but it's been like destroyed or pushed aside or hush hush so that it, a majority of people just do the binary thing. Like, we're so obsessed with a binary. Like, it's really annoying. Um, yeah, I wanted to talk more about my politics, but I got caught up in like the scapegoat of Republicans using trans as an issue. Um, but I think that's just part of what I'm talking about. I used to think our social issues and like discrimination on that level of ruining people's lives was like over. Like, I never really thought about like police brutality or like sexism that still exists and the overlapping of politics in America. Like, there's so much shit going on. And people talking about like the great replacement. Man, these fucking white people are so dumb. Like, they talk about the great replacement, but like, hasn't it already happened? Maybe it would be smartassery of me to say the great replacement happened when the natives were genocided. I wish I could say that was within reason, but there's checkpoints of law and history and what we consider like official. So whatever, it's fucked up that we don't consider that. Um, yeah, when immigrants came in the 20s and 30s, uh, and you know, technically we've had a great replacement, and now the immigrants who are here like generationally get to complain about other people coming in and taking their heritage, which is the same rhetoric that was instilled onto them and fear-mongered by the original population. And this is just it. Oh my god. Like, you know America is so bipolar.